So far, we've seen how to build screens focus on the back office of the application. That is, the part that the travel agency employees use to enter and maintain the company's data. Now we'll see how to design and implement the screens that the agency's clients will use to browse the information, which constitute the customer-facing part of the application. The travel agency has requested a web screen for their clients that shows the available tourist attractions and allows them to interact with the information. For example, filtering the data on screen to refine a search or to see the details of a selected attraction. Previously, we saw how to build screens with web panels. Now, we'll see how to implement them with the panel object, which will allow us to generate the application in Angular. Remember that we could use these same panel objects to generate the screens of our mobile application for Android or Apple devices. We'll create the list of available attractions so that we can then click on one that interests us and see more information about that attraction. The idea is to build a panel similar to the WW Attractions from Scratch web panel that we saw earlier. We'll create a front-end Angular folder and create a panel type object named Attractions CF Panel. As we can see, here we also have a form where we can drag controls from the toolbar. We'll start by dragging a grid and selecting the attributes Attraction ID, Attraction Name, Country Name, and Attraction Photo. Then we set the visible property of Attraction ID to false. And in the base TRN property of the grid, we assign the attraction transaction. Now we'll assign Angular as a generator. In the KB Explorer, we click on Front End, and note that there's a property called Generate Angular, whose default value is false, so we set it to true. We also see that Generate Android and Generate Apple are by default set to true. But since we're not interested in generating for mobile devices at the moment, we set them to false. To be able to generate in Angular, we must install the software mentioned in the wiki article, which is shown on screen. To run it, first we set the panel we've just created as main. We right-click on it and select Run. We can see that a command line window opens showing the execution of the server. And after a few minutes, the browser opens with the application running. Obviously the design is quite poor, but we'll take care of that. The application is running by default on the URL http://localhost:4200, which is the address of the local development server, where the application was automatically installed. We already have our first Angular application.